Hello and welcome to today's show. I'm joined by the wonderful co-host Nicole. I am pointing in the right direction for me, by the way. Joined by Angela of South Coast Ghosts.
Yep. Hello.
EGH. And the re-return of Paul Howard of Host for Ghosts Paranormal. Also
hello, good evening.
EGH.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank
you
you
for coming back.
You're welcome.
So, what have we been up to?
Oh, we've been up to lots of things. We had a epic night, Saturday night in Shepton Mallet Prison, which was a 12-hour overnight stay, Saturday evening to 8 o'clock Sunday morning. Yeah. So that was an epic overnight stay in the prison, one of the second most haunted prison in Britain. So that was we had a good night there. We have. Obviously, we do our podcast, and we've had a lady come on there talking about past life regression, taking that, which Angela had done. So, which was really interesting about, going back. We got lots of investigations coming up soon. The Warrior ship in Portsmouth, all sorts coming up. So we've been quite busy, quite active. I'm in the middle of doing a private investigation on a haunted house, trying to help someone with that. So. Yeah, we've been busy. We're doing a lot, aren't we, Angela?
Yep.
So, I'm trying to remember what you was talking about last time.
I can't remember what I did spoke about.
I did write something down. I cannot find that bit of paper anywhere.
Was it about my friend that did the time travel?
Yeah, you did that one.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Talked about time travel.
Yes.
I told you about that one, didn't I?
Yeah. Can you go over it quickly again?
Yeah, it's about a friend of mine I've known for about 30 years. Bit of a loner, sort of does a lot of walking, a lot of nature pictures and all of that. Decided to borrow someone's cottage out in the Yorkshire moors. So he drove out there, stayed there. Thought he'd drive down to the local village, have a pint in the pub. So he drove down there, parked in a car park, walked into the pub, and he thought it was the ambient colour in the pub was quite strange. It was very not brightly lit. It was very dull. So he walked up to the bar where there's a barman standing there who had his arms crossed, just looked sort of straight for him, asked him for a pint. He pulled out a pint in a really old pull thing, gave him £5, put it in a wooden drawer, didn't give him any change. So he thought that was quite expensive for that. Went and sat down, started to read the paper, thinking, why is there nobody in here? So he got through these pints, thought, oh, well, I'll go up and have another one. So he popped up to the bar, and just as he got his back to the door, he heard the front door of the pub open and then shut. So the barman poured him another pint, gave him another £5. He pulled out the wooden drawer, put the £5 away, didn't acknowledge him, didn't anything. So he turned around and there was about 25 to 30 people sitting in the pub in what would be like horseshoe type seating around the pub. And he thought, well, that's very strange. And as he walked back, he could see that everybody had a drink, half drunk on the table. And he thought, well, how can that be? So he sat down and he's obviously looking over his newspaper, looking at these people, because he was quite into history and clothing and costumes and all of that. And he described them as being in the 1930s type dress and the jackets and a bit like miners and that type of dress.
Yeah.
So he went to go up and he thought it was a bit odd, but he went to go to the fruit machine and the barman said it doesn't work. And he went to the one armband, doesn't work. So, okay. So he thought he'd go to the toilet, which was up another level. So he wandered down, went up another level, opened the door because the toilet was then outside. And as he went outside, this dog was barking. Rah, 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 rah. So if I'll forget it, I'll go. He came back in the bar, and just as he got sort of halfway along, the front door was just shutting. And he looked around and everybody had gone and thought, well, that's not very nice. Didn't even hold the door open. Went straight out, literally seconds behind them, and they disappeared, gone. So he then got in his car, drove away, and thought, what on earth was that? He couldn't really get his mind around it. So the next morning, he put it back in his sat-nav, followed the sat-nav from the night before, took him down to the pub, parked in the same car park, walked onto the bit of a high street where there's a newspaper and our bakers and all of that, right next door, and the pub was next door to a garage. As he turned to the pub was all boarded up. So he thought, well, that's... So he went back to the car, checked the car, it's in the right place. So he went into the garage next door to the pub, and there's a guy working on a car, and he said, oh, how long's the pub been boarded up? Oh, he said, 70 or 80 years maybe now. It's never been open. And he'd only been there that weekend. So he got back in his car, drove all the way back, thinking all the way back about what had happened. And then he didn't know who to tell, because whatever he would have said would make it sound nobody would believe him. Yeah. But he described it. He rang me up because he knew I was doing a parapsychology course at university. And he run it past me. He said, what do you think? And just at that time, there was a lecture on a lady from NASA, a professor from NASA, who was talking about American, where they were practicing with time travel, with the Philadelphia experiment and things like that. So I thought, do I go and say to her about this, or do I just not say anything? And I thought, no, I've got to say something. So I went up to her and said to her about it. And I said, this is going to sound completely mad. Went through the story. She said, it's not mad. This does happen to people. People do. I said, well, how can that happen? She said, what happens is right at that specific time that he entered the pub, that he probably went back in time. There was a time loop there as he walked like a portal. And as he walked back in, he'd gone back in time, or they'd come forward. She said, it depends. Sometimes they can come forward in time. So that's how we see them, or you can step back in time. Anyway, she explained it's not uncommon for this to happen to people. She said, and when the dog was barking, was the warning for him to get out of the pub before the time loop changed. Otherwise, he would have been stuck. He could have been stuck back in time. So when I looked it up, he asked me to look it up because I said we'd go back, and he said, no, I'm never going back there again. So I looked it up, and in 1930. Before I looked it up, he told his brother, and his brother went back about a year later. So he went to the same pub, same place, everything was exactly the same, but it was a thriving pub, full of youngsters, music going, all sorts. So he went up to the bar with his girlfriend, ordered a drink, sat down, ordered a couple of more drinks, then drove back to the same cottage, thought, what's he on about? It's a normal pub in a normal village. And as he got his change out of his pocket, he put his change on the bedside cabinet, was a 1930s penny in the change on the cabinet, and he thought, well, how can that be? How could I have got a 19? So when I looked it up, in 1930, about 1930, there was 25 to 30 people walking along the street going to the pub, as they would have met there in the evenings, and they had a slide, so the road collapsed and swallowed them all up, and they were all killed. Unfortunately, all buried alive, bless them. And we reckon that's what he saw, was them people back in that time and that split second. And I tried to phone up the local church, trying to get a bit more information on. I know it was met with quite not hostility, but quite difficult.
Yeah.
You know, why do you need to know? Oh, well, I'm just doing a study into history of Craven and all this. You don't need to know anything about Craven. I thought, okay, I'll leave it at that then. So I never ever got any further, but I did find that there had been a mine collapse that killed 25 to 30 people. And the pub where it was the centre of the village. Everybody would meet there in the evening for a drink. So fascinating story.
Yeah. See, what gets me about this the most is when you say he goes to the pub and he gets a drink from the barman, he gives him the $5. He doesn't give him any change, and he just kind of blanks him.
Yeah.
Is that my thing? What's the barman seeing? That's what I want to know.
Well, I said to him, what was his reactions to you walking up to the bar? You think there'd be some sort of reaction, wouldn't you? Because he's pulled him a pint, so the barman must have heard what he was answering, or was he pulling a pint for someone back in the 1930s?
That's what I'm thinking.
You know,
does he see him as they was then, and not how he is now?
How I don't know how he'd ever know. But I said to him, "Did you get any reaction from him?" And he went, "No, it was just like he was looking straight through me to the door. He never took his eyes off the door all the time. Even when he sat down, he was watching him over the top of his newspaper, and he just stood there with his arms crossed, looking straight at the door. Even when these people came in the second time, his stance didn't change like he was getting ready to serve. Because as he turned around and went back, the drinks were already on the table."
Yeah. So this was the other question I was going to ask. Oggy's just put it up in the chat. The £5 wouldn't be the same. It'd be different. But when you're handing that over, does that then change?
Well, that's the question.
It must do.
Or would it in them days, a £5 note, maybe that would have been in paper money anyway in the 1930s, I think, because it would have been a £5 note of some description in the 1930s. So was it, like you say, when you give it over, it's a modern day 20th century £5, but when the barman took it, it was an old fashioned £5 note. So that's why he gave him no change. But then how come his brother got a 1930s penny in his change many years later? And it sort of defies logic. The more you think about it, you think, how can that be?
He could have handed the £5 over, but then he's got it, and because I don't know how long ago it used to be, but the money used to be IOUs, didn't they? And you'd write on it how much the IOU was for. Maybe it was something like that.
Well, we'll never know.
I don't know.
No, it's mind blowing, really, isn't it? And I've known this guy for 30 odd years, and I know he wouldn't make anything up like that, because he even showed me the sat nav, because he had like a little TomTom sat nav, and he even showed me the map. You know, you can do the pre-route where it shows you, and it goes straight into this village in Craven.
Yeah.
You know, and it stops in this car park, because you just see it on the scope on the car park. So quite, you know, whether he went back in time or they came forward in time. But the lady from NASA said it's quite common for this to happen. And when I said to her, you know, when people go missing and they're never seen again, is it that they never got out of this time loop quick enough?
Yeah. Could be.
See what Simon's put is a similar thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, so it's not uncommon for these things to happen. You know, that's what she said. It's not uncommon for people to experience that. And one pint wouldn't cost £5 back then, but they were £2.40 for the pound. Well, yeah. But he never got any change. He just put it straight into the wooden drawer. He said he described a wooden till, not a modern day till, just a wooden drawer. You know, so it's sort of a bit mind blowing. But she said, you know, and I said to her about people going missing that they're never found again. Is it this something that happens to people and they don't get out in time, where the dog was a warning to get out before it changed back? These people.
They even physically took that physical £5 note.
I've just looked something up online. So I put, how much would a pint of beer cost in 1930 England? A pint then was sold for 5d a pint.
Oh well.
So 5d is the old 5. Is that the old 5 pence?
I don't know. Do you know that, Jez?
I don't know.
I don't know.
But if it's just going through the motion, like in just repetitive motion of take money, hand beer, take money, hand beer. They don't care what they're being handed. They're not even aware of it.
Yeah,
it's
very true.
Right. So in 1834, a pint of beer cost halfpenny, which is the equivalent to today's price of 16 pence. But I don't know. Oh, so 10d is the equivalent to £2 in today's money. That's in the 1950s.
Right.
So 5d was about probably about, if it's a 5d, £5, probably about 50, 60, 70p, which would sound about right. And that time.
But maybe he owed him that money from previous, or what he thought owed him. He was paying up his debt, his bill from being in there previously. Maybe
could be.
How would you ever know?
Very residual, though, like a residual energy that's just playing on a loop. Because you said that it seemed like they didn't even notice him.
No.
No. And he didn't know. And he didn't notice the other people. He said he kept looking over at the door constantly.
Yeah.
He was looking at the door all the time.
So it seems like a more residual, like kind of stone tape theory thing, where that energy, that timeline keeps playing.
Very much so, and he just happened to drop into it at that time that the energy was replaying the whole situation back again. Yeah, that's a good point, Nicole. Yeah.
Because if somebody puts out their hand for money, you're handing them money. Like if
because he said his body language never changed. Even though the door opened and shut, his body language never changed. So were they there at a different time to him? So that's why he didn't acknowledge them. Who knows? It's mind blowing, really, isn't it? I've asked him; he doesn't know either, mate.
I'd love to have. I'd love to have something like that happen, but it's like Tess put in the comments. I wouldn't like to get stuck in that time if there's no way getting back.
I wouldn't want to get stuck in a time loop. I've been there, done that. Not fun.
No.
Oh, go on. Share.
It was a psychedelic time loop. We've talked about this, haven't we?
At the festival.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we have.
Yeah, no, it was not fun. I don't want to get stuck in any time loop.
No. Yeah. I don't blame you.
Nope.
No.
No, thank you.
I don't want to get just a couple of hours and then come back. I'll be happy then.
But I think if that happened, I think it'd be quite mind blowing, wouldn't it? Because your surroundings would be different.
Yeah.
Would your clothing be different, or would you be in modern day clothing? Is that what we see? When they go on about time travelers, where they appear in wearing different types of clothes that they would do in the era that they're in? Is that what would be a time traveler? Maybe.
But
someone that's.
But I think there's a huge difference between like a time slip where like you just slip into, and a time traveler where you can actually like interact and you are physically in a different time. And something like what it seems like happened to your friend, where they just kind of got a glimpse into another time.
Yeah. And you see these videos, then I know a lot of them you can sort of debunk, can't you? Because when you're doing the paranormal stuff, yourself, you can debunk 80% of what you see and what you hear and what you feel. You can debunk that, but it's that 20% that you're just a little bit unsure about, where you think, could it be? Couldn't it be?
Yeah.
You want it to be. You want it to be true.
Yeah. That's what you're searching for, isn't it? The truth. Whether you ever find the truth, we've all been in situations where things have happened. You think, but that's just not normal because there's nobody here, or I heard a voice, or I was definitely touched, or I had my hair moved. Not that I got hair to move, but the hair being
or
throat polish, or my hair being polished.
Just about to do this.
Maybe the bartender experiences people from different times coming into his bar, so he was just sick and tired of the weirdos. He just stands there ignoring you.
Well,
That's a good thing.
that's a good
But
point.
saying that, if he does have people coming in and out all the time, maybe he's used to it. And he could be maybe he's a Time Lord.
Don't know.
Angela, we've been very quiet. What are your thoughts?
Yes.
Who, me? My thoughts?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know. It's all very Doctor Who-ish, isn't it? It's like somebody's made it up. You can't, I don't know. It's hard to think how it could possibly happen. But then we know that time is not a linear thing and it can be here and there at the same time. So,
yeah.
But I don't think you'd ever find a proper explanation for it or like a definite, this is what happened. It's all going to be kind of, there's a theory of this and a theory of that. And it just has to go on what you believe, really. I don't think you'd ever get to the bottom of what's actually happening.
You've got to think that the Americans were practicing with time travel during the Second World War with the Philadelphia experiment. What's to say that now they've not harnessed it?
Yeah.
We don't know, do we?
You've got Dulce. Is it Dulce? Under New Mexico? Is it under New Mexico?
Don't know.
Sure, it's Dulce. DULCE. Like, I'm gonna have to look this up. It's like CERN, I think.
Dulce is in New Mexico. Dulce Base is a subject of a conspiracy theory claiming that a jointly operated human and alien underground facility exists in the Archuleta Mesa.
But they're supposed to be dealing with like time travel and time shifts and all that, very similar to CERN. And there is another one, but I cannot remember the name of that one.
They claim to see UFOs, strange moving lights, and other strange unexplained sightings.
Strange, isn't it? So who's to say that they haven't harnessed time travel? It's just that we don't know about it.
Yeah, because it's all inner Earth is where it's happening.
It's all under our feet. It's all under our feet.
It's literally under our feet, and we don't even know.
No,
the irony.
It's like a lot of times, isn't it? You know, you don't realise how many tunnels are actually built underneath the ground. You know, where they would be moving ammunition and, you know, presidents and all sorts of people underground. So we don't actually know how many underground tunnels there is under our feet. We know there's a subway or the trains or whatever, but the trains are only on 3 levels. But what is below them? Because, you know, Winston Churchill, during the Second World War, he was transported a lot through tunnels to Portsmouth, to the D-Day, you know, to the offices where he would control D-Day.
Yeah.
But he never went above ground for the sake of, if he ever got caught, then, you know, that would be it. But they travel underground. There's an underground train that would take them from London to Portsmouth. So what is under our feet that we don't know?
Well, that's it. But you've got to look, like, from Buckingham Palace, these tunnels all the way over to Windsor Castle. And then obviously from Buckingham to Whitechapel, I know it's not far, it's literally down the road, but it's still there's still tunnels. And they're just the ones that we know about. Sure.
It's like Chislehurst, you know, near us. There's Chislehurst caves that they're 23 miles, these caves.
Wow.
So, you know, and that's dating back, I think it began its time as they were digging out chalk for the Roman buildings. That's where it actually started, from digging there. And then obviously through the years it's been added on and dug deeper. But they actually travelled 23 miles, these tunnels. So, you know, from London to Windsor's not uncommon, would it?
No. But it's like we was talking about the other day with CERN. CERN is 17 miles in diameter underground, right? I worked it out. I think it's 296 square mile, or round mile. Sorry, one
radius?
second. Yeah.
Yeah.
So volume 289 mile. So
That's huge.
That's big.
Yeah.
Why do you need something that big? I'm not
What
saying
would
the
you? Yeah.
collider's that big, but it's going to be big.
I think the collider's not as big as that, is it? If I
No,
remember rightly.
I know you've got these like offices and shops and it's like villages and all that's supposed to be down there, but they're not going to tell you the exact size.
27-kilometer ring of superconducting magnets.
Oh, it is 27. So it's bigger than with.
It is big, isn't it? I don't think it's that big.
It's bigger than them caves, Paul.
Is it circumference?
Wow. I'm sure it's 17.
It's a big boy. It's 16.6 miles.
Wow.
So
that's a lot of digging.
It's nearly 30 miles of steel. Wow.
That's huge, isn't it?
Yeah. So if they're doing stuff down there and it's causing stuff to happen up here, it's going to have a massive impact with it being that big. I thought it might be like a couple of 100 yards. Don't know.
It's a big boy.
But it makes you wonder whether all these things have a bearing on the paranormal, doesn't it? You know, with all these magnetic, colliders going on and the Big Bang Theory, is that what's disturbing it?
Because it's all electromagnetic fields.
Yeah. It's like ley lines, isn't it?
Yeah. And you've got, I don't know if you know, like NFCs, near field connection. That's when you touch phones and you can connect, and that's not that far away from an EMF. It's still magnetic, and you're still making the connection through energy. So maybe that has got something to do with it as well. Like when you tap your bank card when you're paying for something and all that.
Yeah.
All that's NFC. So there's a lot of magnetic type, not magnetic, but there's a lot of electromagnetic communication going on.
Yeah.
So
that's why you turn your phone off during a paranormal investigation, isn't it? Because your phone could set a K2 off quite easily.
Never turn it off.
You don't turn your phone off.
I use my phone.
Unless I'm doing a live. If I'm doing a live, then I don't, obviously. But otherwise, I'm in airplane mode.
But we, like me and Angela tell you, we always try and make sure that the phones are in flight mode, because potentially your phone is a transmitter, and the transmitter is what the K2 will pick up.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's EMF, isn't it? So you're disturbing the electromagnetic field around yourself or around the atmosphere that you're in, and the phone can do that because it's trying to transmit or receive. It's like some people I know that have used the phone to unlock a car because they've lost their keys, but the keys are at home. If you hold the phone nearer the car and someone presses the remote on the key, the phone can transmit it to tell the car to unlock.
I had heard that, but I wasn't sure if it was legit or not.
It can work on some vehicles.
This weekend, because this PIR sensor kept going off, like this light up PIR sensor, and we found out that there was a police car stationed down the block, and their radio waves were setting it off.
Yeah.
Right.
And we didn't know that. We're like, why does it keep going off? And radio.
But did you know this as well? My cousin told me this a few years ago, and I thought, you're messing about now. If you're trying to I've got my car keys here. So if you're trying to unlock your car and you can't do it, if you hold the controller at the back of your head and look at the car, it will unlock or lock.
Oh, never heard of that one.
Because it's something to do with the optic nerve. Your eyes. Just put it at the back of your head like that.
Like touching you?
Yeah, and then just click it. It has never failed me. And I can stand there, arms stood in the same spot, arms reached like that, clicking it, nothing. As soon as I do that, straight away.
Never heard of that one.
Honestly.
I'm going to sit there and experiment with this now.
But you just But I don't know why. I just open my eyes dead wide just to make sure it's going to work. But it does work. It is never, honestly, it's never failed.
That's funny.
It's going to be a fun party.
And then when I've had to do it, like, I thought I'll see how far I have to walk to do it. And it's like 20 foot before it'll pick it up.
No,
Wow.
So.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, it does work. I'm not winding anyone up. Because I thought, because
I'm
it was
going to see how I can set off equipment like that. I'm going to be like, sit there with the car keys, like staring at a REM pod.
Yeah. But what I do as well, you saying about I say about not turning my phone off. I'll always test how far I need to be from the K2 before it starts to activate it. Sometimes you can go right up next to it and nothing. Other times it can be a foot, 2 foot. It depends where you are and what the energy is like where you're investigating as well. So,
but you have to be careful because sometimes like you'll be this far away and it won't go off, but then you'll get a text message and it will set it off.
Yeah.
So you have to
and another one I found. So if I'm holding my phone, so I've got my phone like that. If I turn and I point a certain direction, it will set off. And I could be the same distance and I'll turn back a few degrees and it doesn't go off. So it's what position you're in as well.
And that makes you wonder.
This weekend, and the K2s were going off like crazy. And we're like, what the heck could set this off in a cemetery?
Yeah. Then you makes you wonder if it's capable of setting off REM pods, doesn't it? If a guest have got their phone on in their pocket and you're around the REM pod, this is working the same as the K2 basically, isn't it? Because it's making its own magnetic field around the aerial. So we are, aren't we, Angela, quite careful with what we have around the equipment because you don't want to you'll always get false positives, won't you? It's just the way it is. But you try and eliminate what you can, don't you, Angela?
Yeah, and I've got I recently got the Spirit Talker app, I think it is, on my phone, and I was trying that out, and I hadn't put it on flight mode because I didn't think it would make a difference, and then someone said it would, and I'm not sure how that works because it's still the same device, so I don't know how it would affect the app. But so I tried it without, and I suppose I did get different words through, but it still didn't sort of make a lot of sense. I couldn't put anything together to make like a story or this is what this means or something. But yeah, it's interesting how it can affect anything really.
Yeah.
So everything else, it comes down to like timing and relevance. Like if your K2 or your REM pod is going off in direct response to questions, then maybe it's something rather than randomly, then it could be radio waves.
Yeah. See, I'm not convinced with the apps. I've got a couple myself, but it's only because they're preloaded. So is that just kicking out random words every so often, or is it actually picking something up? But when you said, Angela, about someone had said to you about putting it on flight mode, then that way it's not, you've not got any mobile data going through into it. So it should, technically, it should give off a different reading each time. But then if you're getting similar readings to when it's on flight mode and when it's off flight mode, then there could be something in it.
Yeah. But it's like your Alexa, you know, when it suddenly says, I do not understand that question. If it will have an asked you a question. So what's it actually listening to?
Oh, have you asked it? Ask it what the James Webb Telescope picked up.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't, because we live in a haunted bungalow. We don't have ours on a lot because it keeps saying, I didn't understand that question.
Well,
it freaks you out at 3 o'clock in the morning.
It was on TikTok, and sometimes it's people edit it and make it think it's saying something that it's not. And I thought, try it. And it did actually say that it was like the James Webb Telescope has picked up basically a big group of what they believe is alien aircraft heading towards the Earth. That's what it actually says. I don't know if it's a joke or
a sign and meet them at the airport.
Well, Shall I do it now? I'll see if it can pick it up.
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
second.
As
I'll
long,
see how.
as long as they got their
Right.
visas, that's fine.
Amazon.
America, you don't need them.
What has the James Webb Telescope picked up?
From microbistro.de. The James Webb Space Telescope has detected organic molecules in active galaxies swirling around supermassive black holes.
Nah, it weren't that the other day.
Maybe they've turned around and thought, maybe they've looked at Earth and thought, no, we ain't going there.
Sod
Let's
that.
go somewhere else.
No, but it said there's like a big galactic of different alien craft heading towards the Earth's atmosphere.
All right.
So,
Your Alexas have an accent over there too.
yeah. You can change it. I change everything.
Or like,
I get bored of it all. I think my phone, I've got an Australian accent on that.
Good day, mate. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Funny.
it's just to entertain myself. That's all. But yeah, if you do that every few days about the James Webb, it gives you all weird different stuff. Oh, alien warfare. Og's just done it.
Oh wow.
what
I'm
did the
guessing.
James Webb Telescope find? Siri won't tell us.
No. I think it's only programmed into Alexa.
Yeah.
But no, I did it a couple of times because I thought it's one of those that's like preloaded or something. But then you go on that site of what it tells you, and it's got all the stuff on there. So yeah,
Interesting.
it is. There's a lot of weird goings on at the moment.
Yeah.
True.
Lots that we don't know about.
Yeah, but would you really want to know what's going on?
No,
Nicole.
No.
I
the answer's
always
no.
want to know what's going on. I need to know things.
I'm quite happy in my bubble where I'm bombing along with Jen. Quite happy. Whatever happens. I can't change what's going to happen in the future. So why worry about it? Why just...
Yeah.
If you know what's coming, then it's worse, isn't it? Because you know what's going to happen. If you don't know, it's done, isn't it?
Yeah, suppose.
Me and Andy have this argument all the time.
Yeah, and I like asking guests. So this is for Angela, right? If you was given the choice to be told that it's all this is fact, right? That all the paranormal will be explained about whether it's connected or not, what everything is, what ghosts are, what aliens are, what shadow people are, the connection to it, or where it comes from, why it's there. Would you want to know?
Absolutely, yes. I would.
Why?
I like her.
But why? I don't get this, because once you know, there's nothing left for us to do.
There's lots left to do.
Well, I don't know, because there's probably more you can explore on from there, I would imagine. Then you get even more questions. Like, I can go this way and go this way.
But then it's not a rabbit hole anymore. It's just, it's there. It's a clear tunnel.
There's always more rabbit holes.
No, it's not. There's not. They've gone. It's a clear tunnel. It's like, right, so an alien is this. It comes from here. They're here because of this. Well, so what do you eat? What's your favourite drink? Do you know that's the only questions you're gonna get in it?
What kind of potato are you?
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have ADHD?
Yeah.
Probably.
You know what I mean? Well, yeah. But do you know what I mean? It's just the mundane stuff from there on. And I don't think I could cope with that.
It's all about investigating the unknown, isn't it?
Yeah. And
that's where the
unknown. That's the key.
That's where you get your thrill and your adrenaline rush, because you're going into a haunted location, but you're going into the unknown, aren't you? Because you don't know what waits for you on the other side of that door. It's normality outside, but as soon as you undo that door and you walk in, it's the unknown. And I think that's what makes it more exciting, because you think, what's going to happen to us this time, or what's going to happen in this event that's going to sort of blow my socks off. So you're walking into the unknown, aren't you?
Yeah. Because if you,
But
yeah,
there's always
right.
more unknown.
No, Nicole, right. This is for you now. This is for you, right? So you find out what a ghost and a spirit is and what they are, right? And then you go out to the Shenley Hotel and do a paranormal investigation. You know these ghosts are there waiting for you. You know what they're about. Can you move the torch? Can you flash a cat ball? What questions are you going to ask?
Why are you here?
But you
Once I know
already
that
been
you are
told
here-
all this.
Okay, I'm told why. Then I want to know what's next. Then I want to know. There's always more. There's always something else.
There's not, because it's like, what's next? It's like, we'll see you in about 2 weeks, same time. You know what I mean?
I will find more. I will dig deeper.
Yeah.
I'm an inquisitive person. I will find the more.
Yeah, I do get it, but for me, it's just like Paul was just saying. It's the unknown. It's the enigma, the mystery, the not knowing.
That's what drives us on, isn't it?
That's what keeps us going.
Yeah.
That's a drug.
Aliens, alternate dimensions. I'll move on to something else.
Yeah, exactly.
But there is nothing else because we've been told everything. The source, where it's from. It's from Inner Earth, by the way.
Always something else. There's the things that they don't even know about.
Yeah, I suppose there's lots in this world that are unexplained and uncharted and unknown, isn't it?
Yeah.
Once you know something, maybe something in this big wide world, it's like being part of the supernatural, isn't it? Do you go from there to UFOs, submersibles, Bigfoot? Where do you go? If you've got the answers to one, do you want to know the answers to the rest? Or do you just call it a day at the one answer? Because what drives us on is the unknown and wanted to learn and wanted to find out, isn't it? It just drives you on and on and on. Whether you get to the end of your life and you ever find the answer to that question, I probably doubt that anybody ever finds the answer, because ultimately we're looking for the answer. Is there life after death? That's what we're looking for, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you find out that there's like alternate universes and alternate timelines, right? Then my next question is, how do you get there? And I want to go there. Like, you got to push it to the next level.
Yeah.
Or is it that you can see it, but you just can't touch it? There's another level, but you can't get to it.
That's the next level. Then you got to figure out how to get to it.
Well, I think you'd have to be honest.
Speaking of levels, I was watching something on about Tartaria. Why
Big
can I not say these T words? Tarantula. Just to prove I can actually say it. And the other week, 4 times I tried. Big spider. I just couldn't say it. The Tartaria. That they reckon that because all these thousands of people that vanished, the buildings were left intact, and there's nothing had changed other than there was no one living there. They think it was same again, something like CERN, that the had some sort of Stargate that's opened a portal for them to move on to a higher dimension. But the other theory was that they was using different sound techniques. So once they'd mastered how to replicate these sounds, then that opened this doorway then for them to move on to a higher, lighter level. And that's why there's no one there.
That's what I mean. It's mind blowing, isn't it? Really, what's out there?
Yeah.
We're a very small part of this massive unknown, aren't we?
Yeah.
As investigators in the paranormal, we want to know who's there. Is there life after death? And it begs the question, like when we were at Shepton Mullet Saturday, and we see like down the corridor a shadow figure that kept coming in and out. If it was so negative in a prison, why are they gone back there? Why do the spirits want to go back? I can never sort of get my head around that, because you think if they've died and they've gone, or they've been executed and they leave, why would they reappear back there? Because I can understand spirits going back to somewhere that they loved and had a great childhood and grew up, and it was such a great place. But would you really want to go visit the prison that you were executed in again? But we saw a shadow figure standing in the doorway 2, 3, 4 times. It popped its head out.
But
I find it's a lot of residual or a lot of intelligent hauntings, though, in prisons?
But could it have been a guard or a prisoner that was murdered by other prisoners or other guards?
Well, it makes you wonder whether it's come back for vengeance or it's stuck in the ether where it's just going around like residual energy. But it actually, when we said, "Can you show yourself again?" Because we just couldn't believe what we were seeing.
Yeah.
There's just no way. And we had people sitting on some chairs, so we had a laser grid lit the whole rear of the wall up by the cell, and we could hear like what sounded footsteps above us along the rail because it's 3 stories like a prison, and you could hear do like footsteps. And I think, and I don't know if was you there when that happened, Angela?
No, I was somewhere else then.
Right. So it was myself. It was about 5 of us. So two ladies were sitting down, and the 3 of us were calling out, and we kept getting. The strangest thing is every time we went out the door to go to a different wing, we ended up back at the same wing. We couldn't seem to find another wing. We ended up back in A wing, and Angela will tell you because you seem to go out but in again. Do you understand? You don't seem to be able to leave that wing for some reason. I don't know. I'm not sure. Did that happen to you, Angela, when you were wandering around?
Yeah, I just kept. I know there's like 3 or 4 different wings, and I was like, "No, I've been in this one," and I try again, like, "No, this is the one I've been in." And it's like, "Where are the other ones? I don't know. I've got a map, and still I couldn't find them." I just again. Yeah, okay.
And we ended up back in this C wing again, and I'm like, "Well, how could this be? We've gone out one door, we've turned around the corridors, but we've come back in again." Now, you're thinking, okay, so we were asking out, and we could hear the footsteps above us. So we asked the 2 ladies sitting down, "Can you move around so we could see where you are on the laser grid, so we can say, debunk that one of them is moving? That's what we're seeing." So they got up and moved towards us. So it just left the plain laser grid. And every time we asked out, "Can you show yourself?" And then the head and shoulders would pop out from the door and pop back. So one of our guests went down there and actually walked down the corridor where it was, and she said the corridor was absolutely freezing. And even though she was down the corridor, this thing came out behind her. It literally popped out behind her, the shadow, and it was head and shoulders out, kept coming out, and you could see it clearly in the laser grid on the wall. And you think, "What?" It's an amazing investigation on Saturday at Shepton with Paul and Angela. Good, yeah, they were there. It was unreal. We got EVPs from there. If you ever get a chance to go there, it's it's the place to go. That or Shrewsbury Prison's the other really haunted location.
Right, okay, yeah.
But
I think Shrewsbury's nearer to me, to be honest.
Yeah, it would be from you. On my bucket list would be Waverley Hill Sanatorium. Nicole will probably know about that. Have you heard of that, Waverley Hills? I've got to go there. I've got to go there.
I haven't been to Waverley Hills. No, I haven't been yet.
Oh, I thought you went a bit ago.
No, not to Waverly Hills.
No, don't know.
I've got to try it. I've got to go there just to say I've been there.
Yeah.
But Shepton Mullet, every time we go there, and things happen. It never fails because it was used during the Second World War by the American soldiers, Shepton Mullet Prison, for holding up their soldiers and all of that. Yeah. So it's steeped in history, and it has an older Victorian cell, doesn't it, Angela?
Yeah.
An infirmary and like what used to be a workhorse, a work wheel, where they would have to walk all day, all of that type of stuff. And it's quite a place, if you ever get a chance, you're down that way, Andy, you're down in Somerset, go to it, But we did an overnight, Saturday night till 8 o'clock Sunday morning. Unfortunately, I left about 2 o'clock because it's about 2.5 hour drive for me to get home.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
right.
So I got home about 10 to 5 in the morning, just as the sun was coming up. Completely tired because I rode a motorbike down there.
Oh, right.
So it's cold, 2 degrees, cold, misty, all on the motorbike. Great days. Happy days.
You need to get one of those sleeping bags that are body shaped.
Yeah. All right.
It's like a onesie but sleeping bag.
Like the mummy bag?
Yeah. Yeah, so it's got the arms and legs. You need to get one of them, Paul.
No, I've got heated on the bike. I've got heated grips and a heated saddle, so I'm well
that's
away.
not too bad then. That's all right.
Cruise control on. I'm done. I'm bombing. But Shepton Mallet is, if anybody's watching this, and like the comment earlier, it is a great place. And Nicole's ever over, head to Somerset, Nicole. I think you won't be disappointed in. Hey, Angela.
Yeah, that area. There's lots of different haunted places, isn't there, in the west?
So
especially
where's
into Cornwall and that?
Yeah, where's the furthest either of you have travelled to do an investigation?
Ooh, I don't know. Furthest we've ever travelled.
I've been is up to York from here. I did 35 Stonegate in York.
Oh yeah,
right away.
Maidstone. Probably Maidstone. Shepton Mallet's probably one of the furthest for us in Somerset.
So where are you based again, Paul?
We're in Surrey, near Croydon, Gatwick Airport. That's where we're based. So we're right round the other side of the motorway. So when we go to events or host events with Angela and Paranation, we have a 2-odd-hour drive just to get to Portsmouth from where we are. So and then you're there 5, 6, 7, 8 hours, and and then 2-hour drive home. So it's always nice seeing the birds flying in the morning on your way home.
Right, here's a question. Here's a question for all of you. Right, have you ever thought of investigating at an airport? Because you look at the amount of energy and the people traveling through airports are 24 hours. You wouldn't have to pay, obviously, as long as you're not going through security in that. If you're staying on this side, you can have like a little sneaky thingy with K2 meter and EVP in that.
I'm pretty sure you'd get arrested in the United States if you.
Yeah, possibly. But if you just go to out the way sort of thing, because the amount of energy and the different types of people that go through from obviously all over the world.
Yeah.
But then you hear the stories of people going vanishing at airports and appearing and all that kind of stuff. So surely there must be something going on.
I've done
the Denver airport, right?
Denver. Let's go Denver. Yeah. Yeah.
I've done an investigation at RAF Kenley, which was the Second World War air base here, RAF base, and Biggin Hill was another one we've done there. But Kenley mainly we've done is Croydon Airport. Yeah, we've contacted them, Adam, and it's very difficult because during the Second World War, Kenley, Biggin Hill, and Croydon were one of the main places that in the Battle of Britain.
Oh, he's gone. Oh, he's back.
Come here. Free spirits, eh? York Railway. There is, and them 3 areas of Biggin Hill, Kenley, Croydon Airport were all famous. Red Hill as well for the RAF base, the Spitfires there. So, we have done an RAF base, but not an actual airport. Whether you could get into Croydon's got a very old airport, very, very old.
Yeah.
But we've never really approached to see whether we can actually It's a bit of a museum now, really.
So, right, okay. But
there's interesting.
Yeah, there's a little aerodrome. It's probably about 10-15-minute drive away from me. I pass it on the way to work. And I've always thought trying to go in there and do an investigation. They call it a museum. It's an old hangar / porter cabin that's probably about 70 yards long and about 10 foot wide. And the one time I went to go in, it was shut. So I've just never been back. But there can't be that much in there for that. They've got I think there's a jet and a Spitfire up on, where they have them up on the stands outside. And there's a couple of planes cut in half. And they do a lot of they have a lot of car shows on there. They have the classic car days, and where you can go, they've got a track where you can go around on the old airfield and what have you.
Right.
And they have air shows on and all that kind of stuff.
So also, it's like you're in Rendlesham. You know, not far from you really is Ballsy Island, which is just off the coast of Felixstowe, which was a secret radar station during the Second World War.
Didn't know that.
That's just off the coast of Felixstowe. There's that. I think it's called Ballsy Island, but apparently you go underground. It was the very first radar station on the coast during the Second World War when we had radar.
Yeah.
But that's just literally off the coast of Felixstowe. So you know where you're in the Rendlesham, you're not far.
No, it's
from there.
I think Felixstowe to Rendlesham's about 30 minutes.
Yeah, half hour. Yeah, something like that.
I know as soon as you come off the A14, it's 20 minutes to the UFO trail, Eastgate Car Park. So that's not too bad. But then you've got Summit Street, it's called, and they've got houses up on the beach, and they've got they're not cutouts. I don't know what you call them. Like where the sea comes in, you've got little turrets of water. There's loads of them.
Right.
Is it Seacley Street or something? It's called.
I don't know. I can't remember.
Can't remember the name of it. Someone in the chat will know.
Yeah.
Because there's a house up. Yeah, there's a house up there to deliver to, but obviously you can't get to the front of it because it's that's overlooking the sea. So you've got to park in the back and walk through the back garden to get to it. But you're literally driving on sand.
Wow. Because obviously down on that coast you have a lot of faults as well, don't you?
Yeah.
You know, Harwich, Bredale, you have Landgar Fault, you know, all on that coastline there.
Shingle Street, it's called.
Shingle Street, all right.
Yes. And it's like I said, it's not that far. You've got you have to go through Rendlesham to get to it.
All right.
So
that's strange, isn't it?
Yeah. Did I tell you what happened? Not the last time, the first time that I went and met up with Alex, where I seen the German soldier walking the opposite way. So so we're walking down the path and we're chatting, and Alex is telling me what's gone on around there and what he's seen and the times that he's been there before. And as we're walking down, just about 2-3 trees deep, I just seen something in my peripheral going the opposite way, and I glimpsed a outline of what they was wearing. And that I come back and I typed in World War II SS uniform, and it was exactly the same as what I'd seen. The grey felt with the collar up and the tunic that comes down around the bum and pulls in tight around the waist and all that. Exactly the same as that. I was like,
did you go back and have another look for it, or?
Yeah, when I went back last time, lots and nothing. But
nothing.
Mike Millward was with us, and we was going through the trees, and we didn't find it. It was there, it's open. There's a big tunnel entrance with a concrete slab over the top with 2 metal straps padlocked down, saying "Do not obstruct." Blah blah blah. And he'd gone over near the trees, and he said he felt like there's someone watching him or walking around near where he was, but there's nobody there. There's me, Alex, Mike, his daughter, and his daughter was walking the dog, and they were a few yards up in front of us. So it was none of us, because we were all stood in I'd say 10-15 yards away from each other.
Isn't there a story about a German soldier that hid there during the war and came out after the war? I think I remember a story. I'm not sure. I think it's Rendlesham, that the German soldier hid there. He was parachuted in and hid there during the war, but never came out. And then came out years and years and years after the war was over. I'm sure it was Rendlesham, something like that.
That's probably true, because Alex was telling me one of the times when he went a few years back that he's walking up to where this big crater is, and I'm sure he said that that's where a plane crashed or a bomb dropped but didn't go off. And he said as he's walking up there, these 2 German soldiers walking towards him, because Alex is a medium, so he picks up on all these kind of stuff. And he said he didn't know if one had I can't remember if he said one had a parachute on or not, but they said to him, "We're sorry for what we've done and what we're about to do." And then they just went.
Wow.
And that was it. So, but I'll find out. This Alex is coming on next Friday. Actually, we're going to talk about what's happened in Rendlesham, and then
Right.
what we're going to be doing when we get there. Then 2 weeks after, we're going to talk. If we get any evidence of anything, we're going to hold it back until then. It's going to kill me, but I'll manage. I get so excited so easy when we get stuff. It's just it's too good
quite
not
good, isn't
to
it?
share. Yeah.
You're getting,
So,
better.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Better.
So Simon is coming up. Simon's driving up, I think, on the Friday. So he's coming up and staying over at mine. Then Tim's coming up in the morning because Tim only lives about 15 minutes away. He just lives the other side of Northampton. So he's going to come over to me. We're going to leave it. There's no point going in 3 different cars.
No.
So we're going to drive up there. So just over 2 hours to get there. So we're going to go meet up with Alex and meet up with Elaine and everyone else and other Elaine that's going. So Og's coming as well. Yeah, no cruise this time. Don't be booking no holidays, woman, or you're getting booted off here. So yeah, we're going to go there. So I've got my night vision. So I'm going to charge them up. I've got my gimbal. I've got my drone. So I've got everything I need. So
do you reckon you'll be allowed to put your drone up there though, because you're right next to American Air Base, aren't you?
Yeah, it's only illegal if you get caught. True story.
Not permission.
Yeah.
The only thing that I do, because I've been looking, you're not allowed to fly it over onto the airbase. You can fly it in the forest. Well, I spoke to Alex the other day, and he said you have to get permission to fly it in the forest, but it depends who the forests belong to. Some are private, some belong to the forestry commissions, some belong to parks and something. I can't remember what they're called. So it depends who it is it belongs to. But you need to get an operator's license. I think it's £11.61. It covers you for 12 months. It's their way of making money. It's another money making scam. Yeah.
You need a license for everything there.
But I can fly it in the back garden or the front garden as long as you go up. I like say in the perimeter. I don't need an operator's license.
Mad, isn't it?
But I was looking at so I got free battery. I got it off Tim actually last weekend. So thank you, Tim. So you get free batteries with it. I was looking at you get about 30, just over half an hour per battery. So there's an hour and a half flying time. So, and it's the video and photograph is really good on it as well.
Yeah.
And you can move the camera, and you can get ND lenses to go over it. You can even get water feet for it, so it clips on the bottom, so you can land it on water.
Get you.
I've looked at everything.
Your kayak.
Yes,
Mr. Technology.
So I was speaking to Darren the other day. He goes, "You're starting your own military. You got the car, so you got land. You've got your kayaks, sea. Now you got your drone, air, land, sea. Yeah, so building up slowly." But no, so when I want to go out on the kayak, so I want to go over like Suffolk area because you've got the Great River Ouse. And you've got all the dikes as well that you can go down, and there's loads of them, and a lot of them merge. But there's so many beautiful rivers around there that go through the woods and forests. You cannot get to these places by foot. You can see them from the road, and I've got my Paddle UK license as well, so I can go on the rivers and canals.
Yeah,
and there's so many access points where I could go to get on it, even like park the car, inflate it, and then just go on the water.
Yeah.
So I've been making mental notes of all these different places, but you can see where it goes out through these fields and these like all these broken down barns, and that I'm thinking, dogmen, goblins,
something's got to be out there, isn't it?
Yeah. So you don't look, you're not going to find out. So I think the more accessible you can be to go in these places, the more chance of finding anything out.
Well, that's it, isn't it? You stumble through the woods and you find a pillbox or a building that's in the middle of the woods. You think, well, why is it there? And a lot of them were there as a second form of defence, weren't they? So they hid them in the forest. They were a second form of defence. You know, it's like I get your take on this haunting that I'm looking at, or myself and Jen are looking at, is a haunted house that we're working on. What's your take on the lady a lady feels like something sits on the side of the bed at night, okay?
Oh.
But it doesn't happen every night. When she gets this pressure of someone sitting on the side of her bed, then she has paranormal happenings in the house. Right. So what happens is you go downstairs. I've got all the pictures. She sent me the pictures, and myself and Jen have been there.
Yeah.
She'll go downstairs in the morning, and the cushions on the sofa are all piled up on top, one on top of each other in the corner where they were all spread around the sofa. Open the curtains, and the neck curtains are tied together in a knot and just hanging there. And the shoes are put outside with the back door undone, with the shoelaces tied together, but all paired up.
Oh.
Does she have cameras?
The camera never picks anything up. She shows orbs moving around.
Yeah.
But she says she doesn't really sleep, but they can hear things going on downstairs. So when they feel the pressure on the bed, they'll go down in the morning, and all these things have happened. They found shoes out in the garden on the hot tub, but the back door's been unlocked. And like her daughter goes in and out and says, "Oh, Mum, don't lock the door, will you? Just lock it, but don't bolt it." The daughter came home at 3:00 in the morning, couldn't get in because the door had been bolted. She rung Mum at 2:45 and woke her up. She said, well, nobody bolted the door, but the door was actually bolted. So she was saying to me that her husband and son-in-law bought some brand new trainers, and they left them by the front door. So they came in, took their shoes off, came down in the morning, both right hand shoes on both sets were missing. Couldn't find them anywhere. Garden, they looked everywhere, but it was only the right hand on each set.
Right. I tell you need to get in contact with is Simon Riley, because they're probably in the back of his van. True story. Because I've not told anyone.
Oh.
Right. I need to tell you this story. Oh my God. So I went to BUFOG, Birmingham UFO, and did my first talk for them, me and Sarah. And then, so me and Simon, we was sharing a room at the hotel, not a bed before anyone says anything. So we were sharing a room. So I got the train because it was easier for me to get the trains and drive, and it was a lot cheaper. So, and because I drive for a living, I just thought, can't be bothered. I'll just have a drink and what have you. So, coming out the hotel room, and it's more like a motel than a hotel. So where he parked his van, he's got a little van. It was right outside the hotel window, so we could see it all the time. Anyway, so we got all our stuff together. He had a bag with a few cans of beer. That there was dead man's fingers, not literally, but the cans of drink with the rum and coke and all that. And then he had a brand new blue hoodie, and I'd seen him. He put them in this bag, just plain white plastic carrier bag, and he was dropping me off down at the train station. The train station was literally 200 yards away from where we'd done the talk the night before. So we pulled up, dropped me off. I just walked up this track. The car park, walked around, and then waited for the train. So he then set off. So from Birmingham, I'm going to Northampton. He's going back towards Manchester, right? So he's driving back. He's getting a bit tired. So he pulls up on the services. So he goes to get something out. I can't remember what it was. He went to get something out the back of his van. Like I said, it's on like the Ford Escort style vans, but he's got 2 seats with sliding doors either side, and then you got the back doors.
Yeah.
This bag was nowhere to be seen. He'd literally emptied the bag. He'd emptied it, and he went away with his missus Karen a few weeks after. He literally, because he keeps his fishing gear and all that in it. So he took a lot of the stuff out, so there's nothing left in the van in case anything happened to it. So anyway, it was about a couple of weeks after he come back, I think it was. Correct me if I'm wrong, Simon, if you're still listening. And this bag was there with all the cans in it. And I'm talking, it's probably 4 square foot of room. And the only place it could have gone was under the seat, but he checked under the seats. And there's like 4 or 5 cans in it in this blue hoodie. He ended up buying another blue hoodie to replace this one that cost him more than his original one. He'd emptied the van 3 times, right? And then he found it. It's like, there is no way it could have vanished for that long and then come back. So we reckon there's a portal. But the funny thing is, where this bag was put, that's where Barry Fitzgerald was sat when we went up to Valton in February, when we went out doing that little investigation.
Barry sat in the fort.
Yeah. Barry might have caused the portal. So, but no, it's weird how this went missing and then come back. But he had a pair of boots in there as well. One of his boots went missing, and it was when we was meeting to do that investigation. He was getting ready to get started, and he could only find one boot. He still has not found this other boot. No, this was in April.
Oh my God.
This was in April. This boot is just gone.
I did some digging into about through Google. It took me a while about spirit taking shoes. You know, why do spirits take shoes? What is it about a specific shoe that spirit like? In the 12, 13 and 1400s, when they were building buildings like for people to live in, obviously in villages, the builders would hide shoes inside the walls to ward off evil spirits and witches.
Oh.
So when she said to me, "Can you help me find these new trainers?" So I tried to connect with the house, and I said to her, "You've got a sofa, and the sofa's pushed against the wall, so it's a corner type sofa." I said, "You've got a light behind the sofa. They're there." Because I could see the sofa not quite square in my head. She said, no, the sofa's too heavy. You can't move it. There's no way that they'd be behind there. So she said, she went and turned the light. She said, I'll go and turn the light on. I said, turn the light on while we're here. So she walked over, turned the light on, and pressed against the wall with the sofa pressed against them with the two right-hand boots. So to me, the spirits put the boots against the wall to ward off some sort of evil spirit or witch. And that's what they used to do in the old days, is literally put the shoes inside the wall and then build the wall. And that would ward off any evil spirits and witches.
Yeah. You've just been told off, Paul, by Lara. You should say evil witches because most witches are good.
Evil witches?
Yeah.
Did I say evil witches?
Evil spirits.
I apologise. Lara. I said evil witches.
Yeah.
I'll take that. I can't say that one.
Yeah, that's fine. It's fine. It's all good.
But that's what they used to do. And that was to ward off, evil spirits and witches. And it's well known for them to be in the walls. And when they renovate houses, really old houses, they find these shoes in the walls.
So I would wonder, is there like a regular time schedule when this happens, like every 2 weeks or like the first of the month, or
it could be every 2 weeks, every week, or it could go a month or so, nothing happens. But as soon as she feels the pressure on the bed, like someone sitting next to her, although there's nobody there, because she's actually swapped sides of the bed with her husband, so he would sleep, but obviously she couldn't sleep the other side because it's wrong, isn't it? But when this happens, she can't sleep, and they can hear noises downstairs of things going on, but they're too scared to go downstairs to have a look. But when they go down in the morning, the pillows are all stacked up, the shoes are missing, the curtains are tied together. They've even come down and found the kitchen stool up on the side as well.
Wow.
And they're quite heavy stools, big breakfast stools.
Yeah.
So that's the one we're working on at the moment. So
see, I felt when I've been sat on the bed and been sorting stuff out, because where I am, I'm in the corner of the bedroom, so it's like this bit of it is on my side. So when I'm sat on the bed, I'm just sat on the iPad, like doing some editing. That I felt like someone sat at the bottom of the bed. There's no indentation or anything. It's only happened a couple of times. I'm like, no, not somewhere I'm living, and I just just switched off from it, and that was it. I just don't want to entertain it whatsoever.
Have you ever had it before? After?
Twice here, but where I used to live, growing up, like my mum's house, the dog was buried in the back garden, and I'd gone out one night. I'd gone out one night with my brother and that, because I moved to a different part of Manchester at this point. So we'd been out on the beer and what have you. And I thought it's just easier to go back to my mum's and then either drive home or get a lift off my brother the next day. So I went into the spare bedroom that had been sorted out into, but when my sons stay over at my mum's, because she used to babysit sometimes at a weekend. So if they were staying over, and I can't remember I'm sure. No, because the eldest one was a lot older, so he wasn't staying as much. Anyway, so I'd gone and I got in my old bed, in my old bedroom, got in bed, and when the room starts spinning a bit, but I just want to go to sleep. And then I heard the dog's been buried since 21, so it'd be a good 16, 17 years from when he died to when it happened. Could hear him walking up and down the side of the bed. You hear him brushing against it and panting as he's walking, then jumps up at the bottom of the bed right next to my feet. At that moment, I just froze. And he used to turn around 3 times and then just drop and go to sleep. And I'm laying there like, oh my God. I couldn't move. I wanted to look because I wanted to see if it was him.
Yeah.
But then I didn't want to look in case it wasn't and it was something else. So I didn't, but do you know what? I sobered up in about half a second.
I can imagine.
Cold sweats and everything. It was horrible. But that's the only time that's ever happened.
We have a question for Angela.
Okay.
I want to know, Angela, what's your favorite equipment to use when doing investigations?
I actually prefer not to use equipment and just to use my senses, really. Although I do tend to set up a camera just like in one room or one area and just leave it there the whole night just to see if I can capture anything that's sort of going on when people aren't really looking. But apart from that, I just try and use like my feelings, like if I sense something or if I don't know, see a shadow or something, rather than rely on equipment.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. And I have a question for Angela too. What's the doggy's name?
Molly.
Molly. Oh.
Right. We have got another question, I think, have we?
It's not really a question.
No.
Miss Tessa was talking about a video earlier and looks like you started the...
Oh, about time slips. Yeah. I'll put it up anyway for anyone who hasn't seen it. It's called Strange Days, Strange Cases of People Who Teleported.
All right.
So,
have a look, watch that.
Yeah.
I'm quite interested in time travel and that sort of thing.
Yeah. Need to go to that pub.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially if there are lots of spirits in there, apparently, even behind the bar.
Whiskey, brandy.
I always like that pun.
It is. But see, this is the thing. So going back to the play on words and wordsmith and all that, why are they called spirits?
Because drink enough of them and you will see spirits.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But just quickly, so when Dana was on Monday that Nicole missed because she's too busy working.
Damn bills.
I know. So she was talking and she's saying about realizing stuff, and it clicked straight away. Realize, real eyes. So when you realize, and it's like, oh my God, and it just wow.
You don't realise, do you, play on words, do you?
No. And she was saying about how the English language was used as for spellcasting and all that kind of stuff.
All right.
Yeah. But she's going to come back on a Friday, Nicole. So she's mad. She won't mind me saying it. She's bonkers, but good with it. Right.
Those are
really
my favorite kind of people, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
The ones that are a little bit crazy.
Yeah. But it made so much more sense than some of the other guests that have had on without being horrible. It was more, I could relate to it more with how she was saying it and what she was saying.
Mm-hmm.
So Yeah.
That's the thing, isn't it? Sometimes people put it in a different wording and you think, oh, yeah, I never thought of that. That makes
Yeah.
much more sense, Sometimes, we don't realise, do we? And it's like doing a paranormal investigation. Angela tell you, you go flying in with all the equipment. What's wrong with going back to basics? Dowsing rods.
Well, do you know when you'd asked the question, Nicole, to Angela about equipment taking? I'm going to take my K2 meter on next Saturday, and I'm taking my dowsing rods and 2 pendulums. I'm taking the night vision goggles and all that, but I'm only going to use the others as like actual using equipment, where the night vision and all that is just going to be there, obviously, if it starts getting dark.
Yeah.
We got one more question that popped in. Laura said, what has been a paranormal experience that has affected you in a positive way? It's for both of you. Who wants to go first?
I think probably seeing my nan at the bottom of my bed when she was there for 4 nights in a row. And that's what sort of led me into the paranormal, to learn about the paranormal, as I studied parapsychology at university. Not long after that, it was seeing her for the 4 nights in a row with her saying something, but I couldn't see what she was saying. But I knew she was there for a reason, and it was a positive, good thing to see her, because me and my nan were always very close, and she'd been dead 20 odd years when she came back. But she came back for a reason, whether that was to put me into the paranormal, because I never really, I was always scared of the dark as a child and didn't really want to go out in the dark on my own and all of that type of stuff. But obviously being in my 20s when I saw her, that sort of really led me to go into the paranormal. That's my positive part of the paranormal, seeing my loved one.
Yeah.
Angela?
So thank you for sharing.
The only things I can think of are sort of quite recent things. My partner passed away in April this year, and it was a couple of months ago. I was sat here and I was looking online about different places to explore in the Lake District in Scotland. So we love going to those places. And I've got this little Dalek clock over there, and it just started lighting up. And I thought, oh, that's strange. And then there's a speaker over here, and it had this little blue light on it, which just started flashing, not regularly, but sort of intermittently. And it's never done that before, and it hasn't done it since that day. And also I had something fall off the shelf behind me, and something flew off the kitchen side. And it all happened within about 10 minutes. And I thought, maybe this is him trying to say, like, yeah, this is like where I want to go. Places like, yeah. And also in one of our cars, we have a lot of cars, we've got this, what's it called? Like a hands-free kit.
Yeah.
And that will only go on, obviously, when you have a call or something. And I had the radio on, and then it went off, and it was just making this funny noise, like a call was trying to come through. And it was just this one day that it did this. And to me, that was saying like he was trying to communicate through the car, basically. So that's the only thing I can sort of really positive ones.
Yeah, nice.
No, thank you for that.
And Laura said her question was for the whole panel. So Andy, what's yours?
What? I don't know the question.
Your positive experience.
Oh, right. Sorry. I was thinking of something else. They've all just been like some have been a bit scary, but nothing major as such. Everything's just been like down the middle. Nothing that negative. It's just like with the dog and that kind of like caught me off guard. It was more that than anything else. There's not been. The only positive that I can say is that me going out doing the paranormal investigating and then doing this through that is meeting all you guys. That's it. That's all I've got. So I'll be a bit soppy, but that's how you get in. But no, it's like if I'd not done that, I'd never have met anybody in the chat, you guys on the screen, everyone else that's been on, people that have become friends with and met up with, and so on and so on. So I wouldn't be sat here doing this now. So I think that's a positive thing from it. Stick bucket, shut up, Simon.
It's the people that I've met through doing this, but also like, I mean, if you want to say like a paranormal experience that's positive, I guess it's like the signs that I get sometimes. Like, we talk a lot about like the numbers and stuff.
Yeah. Yes.
So like I see those sometimes, and it kind of like tells me that I'm like on the right path, or tell me like something's good's coming, and I think that's kind of positive.
Yeah, I had loads of 8s today and loads of 3s yesterday. It's just constant all the time. Right. I have got one question for both of you, all three of you. Would you say there's any difference between supernatural and paranormal?
I think so. I think it's a big difference. I think the supernatural, I think the paranormal is a very small part of the supernatural. There's so much in the supernatural world. And my opinion, that's how I feel, that the paranormal is a very small part of that supernatural circle.
Yeah.
That's how I feel anyway.
So do you think that humans can be supernatural?
Well, I haven't seen anything to prove differently.
Right. Fair enough.
that
was a good way of answering that one, Paul.
Well, being a mechanic for 30 years, mate, you have to work your way out.
Yeah, you're ripping everyone off. No, sorry.
Hey, that's harsh. That's hard.
No, I'm only messing.
True, but harsh.
Yeah.
The way
I'd say that's my opinion.
Yeah.
Was like supernatural is like magic and like outside of the realm of physical possibility. And paranormal is physically possible. It's like natural. We just don't understand it yet.
Yeah. Yeah. Angela?
So that's pretty much what I was going to say. I think they're quite similar, but supernatural, I always feel maybe you can't explain it as much as paranormal things. They sort of can be a bit more concrete and maybe more sciencey, whereas supernatural is kind of like really, you just don't know. It's all kind of weird and wonderful.
See, for me, supernatural is more like the ability to levitate, controlling time, so lucid dreaming, astral projection, that kind of stuff, where, like you said, the paranormal is the spirits, cryptids, UFOs, that sort of stuff. So I think supernatural is more of what we can do in this realm as opposed to what's coming through into this realm from the other side. Something like that.
Something like that.
Well, yeah, that's mine. It'll change tomorrow. It'll be something totally different. But at the moment, that's what it is.
Every day's a school day.
Yeah. Yeah. We do have one more question. No, we don't. Or do we?
We do. What is the scariest experience for the panel?
Angela, what you first? We'll do it clockwise.
I think one of the scariest ones was at Wimmering Manor a few years ago, and we were, I can't remember what the room's called, but it was on the first floor, and it was sort of very dark in there, and Darren, my partner, was doing like the calling out, and he was good at communicating with spirits, and he was sort of in the middle of the room with people around him, and they were sort of communicating with somebody, and I was around the outside sort of leaning against a table, and then I felt like I couldn't move from the table. I tried to sort of move forward, and I just kept being pushed back against it. I was like, okay, what do I do now? I'm kind of stuck here. And so I went, Darren, I'm kind of stuck against the table. So he came over and he said, whoever it is that is holding Angela against the table, can you leave her alone now? And then it took a little while, but then I just kind of went whoop and popped up away from the table again. And so yeah, it was kind of scary, because if he hadn't have been there, I don't know, like, if it had gone any further, or if I've been stuck at the table still now. But yeah, that wasn't a great feeling, sort of not being able to move away from wherever I was, basically.
Nicole?
I don't get scared.
Oh yeah, you don't care, do you? You just go in and bully everyone and go home.
Yeah, I can't really think of one where I was scared.
No.
I mean,
Fair
the one
enough.
where I saw the like full body apparition that I thought was Lisa was kind of
the one behind you.
Yeah, surprising, but
yeah, I've only had one, and it weren't even. I was at my mate's house, and I was getting ready to go home. I was sat in a chair in the corner, and I couldn't get up. And I'm shouting to my mate. They couldn't hear me. It's only a little. He only lived in a small house. It's on like living room, kitchen, and 2 bedrooms, and that was it. Oh, obviously a bathroom as well, and he couldn't hear me, and I'm proper shouting him like as loud as I could. And I'm sat in this chair, and I just thought, if I don't get out of this chair now, I'm gonna die. It was just didn't feel like anything was pushing me down. I just could not get out of this chair. And as soon as he come in the room, straight up, right, going home. He goes, "What's up for you?" So I told him. He's like, "Yeah." He goes, "His brother was there a few weeks ago, and he was sat in that chair, and when he turned around, there's like some old bloke figure stood right at the side of him. Like, yeah, I'm never coming to your house again. Bye." Yeah,
funny.
that was horrible. That was a really bad feeling. It was that. I think he had no control over it. It's probably that more than anything else, but it was just not for me. So, Paul, yours.
Mine was I went to investigate an asylum with a group, and I wandered off on my own down a corridor because I thought I saw a door move and voices. So the carnal sin, you go off on your own when you shouldn't really. And I went into the room where the door was at a different position to any other door in the hallway. And then the door slammed behind me, and I couldn't get out. Couldn't get the door open, and I could feel something walking around me. The wind breeze past. And then I started to panic then, because I knew I was in trouble. I knew this was wrong. What I'd done. No phone signal, so I couldn't phone anybody. And then I sort of took a deep breath and thought, the more I get frightened, the more the energy I'm going to create, the more powerful this thing's going to become. And then I just stood there, and I will admit my heart rate was pounding because I knew I was in trouble. And I was like, "Come on in, do what you got to do. I'm not scared of you. Scratch me, do what you got to do. I am not scared of you." And then the door burst open, and I ran out. But if I'd have eaten before I'd gone in there, I think I probably would have lost it.
Yeah.
Things would have happened in there. But I knew I'd done wrong. I knew I was in trouble. I knew it.
Nah.
Yeah. And I thought, if the more fear you have, the more energy they get, don't they? The more powerful they become. And I'm thinking, and it's hard, isn't it? Because as a human, we get that fight or flight mode. You can't get out because the door's shut.
And you don't get a choice of which one you choose.
No. And the more frightened you are, the more energy you're producing, the more it's doing it. And I could feel it getting agitated because it was getting faster and faster, sort of whooshing past me. And I'm thinking, I'm in trouble here. Something's going to happen here, whether I'm going to get scratched, pushed, or, something. And I thought the only thing to do is take a deep breath and then just say, "Come on then," top of my voice. And they couldn't hear me because they were on the other side of the wing. So, come on, do what you got to do. And the door came open, and I thought, I'm out, I'm gone, I'm done.
Yeah.
Because by the time I got back to them, they said, "Oh, you're looking a bit pale." So, yeah, it's fine, it's all right. It's a bit of a long walk down that wing. I daren't tell them what happened. But that's my scariest thing that's ever happened to me.
Wow.
And I really was scary.
Yeah.
I knew I'd done wrong.
Yeah. But we're all still learning out, like I said before.
We are.
Every day's a school day.
And it is. Yeah.
And the thing is, there's not really any wrong or right way of doing. Well, there is wrong ways of doing it. You don't do the tormenting and provoking and that. You suppose to a degree, Nicole, but not just the way you looked at me there when I said about provoking.
I never provoke.
Okay, but I know people that do, and it's like, no, I don't want to be there while you're doing that. If that's what you want to do it on your own. I'm not hanging about. And it's all right getting like not. I suppose getting a little bit animated with them. It's like, come on, show yourself like that, but not do something or I'm going to do something. It's like that. That's one step too far.
There's a difference between provoking and like doing something to get a reaction.
Yeah.
Like if you're in a traditionally like, where they don't like females, I'm going to go there because they don't like females. I'm not trying to provoke them. I'm just trying to get a response.
Yeah.
If they tell me to leave, I'm going to leave and be respectful.
It's finding that, it's knowing where that line is and when not to cross it. I think
I'll go back there and I'll say like, oh, I heard that you don't like females back behind your bar. Is it okay that I'm here? If not, light this up and I'll leave.
Yeah.
That's not provoking. That's
no. Yeah.
But then you hear some people are very disrespectful, aren't they?
Yeah.
And you think, myself and Jenny, and Andrea, you sit and watch these programs, you think, how disrespectful are you towards that spirit?
Yeah.
And that really does annoy me when people are disrespectful. If you're respectful to the spirit, okay, you don't want me behind the bar, that's fine, I'll move away. That's being very respectful. When you people saying, come on then, do what you got to do, scratch me, I'll let you take over me, do whatever, and you think that's just being disrespectful. And that does annoy me when I see that. I'm afraid.
It's all right saying like,
their home essentially.
Yeah.
How would you like if somebody went into your home and spoke to you that way?
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's like I said, like you go in, it's like, come on, just interact, give us an answer. Go on, we're not here that long. That's different. That's like you said.
Yeah.
That,
it's like, come on, make this up and we'll leave. Like,
yeah.
If you want to, just tell us.
Make a noise, make a bang, and we'll move out of the room. And that's being respectful, isn't it? Because they get the bang and you say, thank you for that. And then you walk out because you're doing what you promised to do. When you become disrespectful, I find that I don't like that.
No.
But then you have to follow up. You can't stay if you say that you're going to leave and then they do what you ask.
Yeah.
You have to actually leave.
But then you get people that do that as well. And it's like, well, straight away, you just show them that you don't give a shit, basically.
Yeah.
So,
and why would spirit do anything for you when you're disrespectful?
Exactly.
I know
what I'd be doing. If I was a spirit, I'd become their attachment.
I have knock on wood, never had an attachment, never had anything follow me home, even though it did touch my
car. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. Right. Well, we are at the end of the show, unfortunately.
And I'm going to a private case tonight after this, so
I'm going to bed in about 10 minutes. So no, thank you both for coming on.
You're welcome.
Great again, as always. Definitely need to get you back on again sometime in the new year.
Yeah. Can I just say to you, good luck with your 24-hour
thank you.
Cast. So from myself and Angela and all of the others that know us, good luck with that. That's a great idea. A great idea. So good luck with that, mate.
Second one, but I've got an assistant this time. So we're both doing the 24 hours. But this is the thing as well. I'm not able to book anyone now until after November because Nickname has booked most of the people and we don't know who's coming on. I know the 4 that I've booked. 3 that I've booked. So I've booked Paul Sinclair, Earl Grey, and
you don't know the 3.
Oh God, who's the other one?
Oh, but you've been caught out here.
Paul Sinclair, Earl Grey, and BMR Rob, Bigfoot Michigan Rob. So they're the only 3 that I know.
And I booked
know,
Frankie Adeo, Jenny Colucci, and Anthony Simonelli.
Yeah. So I know of the other people that have been booked to come on. And there's a few that was at the conference that you was at, Paul, down near Somerset the other month when Nicole was there.
Yes.
So
I was there.
She's booked,
Me and Angela.
Is it Gwendolyn?
Gwendolyn Purcell.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think she's lovely.
Yeah, she's coming on, and a couple of others. I
Nice.
don't know these people because I've never spoke to them. I'm friends with them on Facebook and that.
Yeah.
But I've not had any interaction really with them. Other than that, it just says slot taken. Slot taken. Yeah. So we don't know.
Interesting.
So we're not getting any. We're getting no bios, and the people that are coming on, I think they're going to be keeping the camera off until they're ready to come on.
All right.
So
nice.
we're not going to know anything. So it's going out. It's going out in 8 parts. It's just that if anybody wants to watch it back, it's easier to watch it in a 3-hour stint than 2 12 hours.
Yeah.
So each 3 hours is obviously there's going to be 3 guests per 3 hour bit. So it just makes it easier to catalog it and chapter it. So
nice.
So we've got that on the 1st and the 2nd, but on the 25th of this month we have the Halloween special. So it's myself, Nicole, and Tommy. What we're going to be doing is we have 4 stories. 3 of them are made up. So we've got 4 stories each. 3 are made up. 1 of them's real. We have to work out which one's a real one between the 3 of us. And then people in the chat, if they want to get involved, the first person to work out which one I'm telling is real, which one Nicole's telling is real, and which one Tommy's telling is real, will get a prize. And it's that behind me, not the ghost. Which way am I going?
You're on it. You're on it. You're on it.
Oh, there.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you're done.
Alienate UK neon light. So you can have it any colour, different fonts, different sizes.
I do have to pop off because I have to get to my investigation.
Yes. Okay. I shall allow you to leave.
Thank you.
All right.
You tried to fire me earlier. Just FYI, everyone.
I did not try and fire. That I said.
So now I have to be careful.
You said about not kicking anyone off. I said about I've not kicked anyone off yet. I goes, I've not kicked a co-host off yet either. And you went, what was it you said? Well, you have to be careful because I'm the only one that's left. So it's like, all right, you've got a point. So yeah, that was it.
All right, it was wonderful.
Right.
Seeing you.
Have fun, and I'll see you on Friday. Yeah.
No, I'm at Paracon on Friday.
Oh no, you're not here. Right, Gerald and Jane.
I will see you
Midwest
next
Night
week.
Watchers. Yep, perfect. Have a wonderful weekend.
Take care.
Tonight. See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Right, so that's it. So thank you, Paul. Thank you, Angela, for coming on. Great discussion.
Thank you.
Definitely need to put you both back on again and
talk
about other investigations and stuff you've got that are going to be going on for the next few months.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add before we do end this?
No, just to keep an eye because we've got a few investigations heading into the end of the year, Halloween, and a few others going. So keep an eye. So when we're back on here, we can tell you all our conundrums and all the things we've been up to. But pop on. You know, we both have websites in South Coast Ghosts and Host for Go.
Yeah.
Pop on our websites. We put blogs on there occasionally. So just pop on, have a look, or give us a shout. We'll answer questions. And we have a Paranormal Monday Night live chat about our investigations and different guests. So stick your head in, come and join us. And thank you again, mate, for having us back on it.
Thank you for coming on. So I just want to play this quickly. So this is a Halloween intro, just to give you an insight as to when it is. So like I said, we're doing 12 stories in total. And Yeah, so that's a Halloween special, 25th, 8:30 p.m. So hope you all join in on that one. This is also going out on podcast, so thank you to everyone who's listening and downloading on Podcast Player. Really appreciate it. Anybody interested in supporting the channel, you can do that on Patreon at Patreon Alienate UK. I think it is. Let me have a look.
Yeah.
There it is. There. Patreon.com/Alienate UK. You can find us on there. So yeah, you can join that for free as well. You don't have to join one of the paid tiers. So even just joining on there, it helps with the algorithms and goes towards YouTube as well. So it's all good. And you can donate at PayPal as well, not just on Patreon. So thank you again, Angela. Thank you so much, Paul. And
you're welcome.
Hopefully I'll speak to you guys soon.
Yeah, take care, mate.
Yeah, you too. Good luck with the investigations and speak to you in a while.
Take care.
Cheers. Bye-bye. And we've
Bye.
got Gerald and Jane coming on Friday 8:30. So it'll just be myself and those two. So see you guys then. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.